Yes!
How does he do that?
Hello and welcome to Aotearoa, the land of the long white cloud. Tucked away in the southern hemisphere, this is one of the most exciting volcanic rocks. Well, technically two rocks. There's a north and a south island, and we're sat in the middle of this volcanic central North Island. There is so much energy here, and it's right now focused in Rotorua for the last Crankworx of the season. A natural amphitheatre for all of these venues. Slopestyle downhill, speed and style, pump track, and right now we have the specialised dual slalom. This course, 450 metres long, so it's going to be a decent workout for all of the riders. You've got one dirty spine down at the bottom there. A lot of riders struggling with that, and we're going to see some great scrubs over it. 5 rollers, 5 berms. It is a mouth-watering prospect, and we've got one of the boys who I believe was born of adventure. He is one of the 2 Murray brothers, and he casually climbed Mount Cook, one of the most technical and difficult climbs in the world, and then as if that wasn't enough, he skied down it. Charlie, that was Monday. Now you're finishing the week commentating on dual slalom. Pleasure to have you here.
Thanks for having me, Ed. I'm really excited to be here. We had a downpour just before, and the riders were struggling with the wet conditions, so I think this is going to be a really exciting race.
Absolute lottery. We used the term wacky races. If you've never come across dual slalom before, or you need to brush up on your knowledge, check this out and it will bring you up to speed.
All right, here we go. Dual slalom.
Dual slalom is all about head-to-head racing.
Run what you brung. 2 side-by-side courses.
Watch the gate and fit it.
Head back up, switch courses, do it again.
Fastest combined time advances. Easy, right?
Casey Brown just casually hanging out with a cow there. That was really bizarre. This is the course. You've got a little overview of it from the drone here, and it's being billed by a lot of people as the best dual slalom course that we've ever seen in Crankworx history. Let's take a closer look at it.
Yeah, 2021, the dual slalom builders have been amazing.
I really like that there's like a BMX aspect to it. There's jumps, and they're kind of like techie jumps, and then the step onto the table before the stall wall is like a nice techie feature that's like, you know, more of a struggle for everybody. You kind of got to hit everything else right to get it.
There's like really fun rhythm sections, and you could manual, pump, or double. All 3 are different and technical to achieve. And then over here as well, it's almost like Moto Supercross. You got like tables, and you want to like jump on, jump off, or like scrub them, and like it's really cool because like you see different options from everyone.
It's pretty quick, like wide open. You just like fully onto it, and then it just gets real tight at the end there, so it's like a mix. And if you like out of whack a little bit, it's just gonna muck you up for the rest of it.
Either way, I think it's just like more about hitting on the lines. If you don't hit the lines, you're not probably going to win, no matter who you're against. So, yeah.
It is a really good looking course, and we've seen it start to get into people's heads. What stands out in it to you?
I think that scrub wall is a pretty key feature on this course. Like, you've got to carry your speed into it and out of it, but it's so intimidating coming into it. It looks almost vertical.
And you mentioned the weather earlier on. They said it's a course for everyone. There's little elements that suit people, but traction is a real issue now, isn't it?
I think it is. It's quite an even course until the weather comes down, and then people who have a downhill background or an enduro background actually are used to riding those slippy conditions. And with the track changing, they were doing quite well in the qualifying.
Okay, we've come to that part of the pre-show where we need to start motivating people, and we've decided today to go with the quote of the day, and the wisdom belongs to none other than Charlie Murray.
Get the gate start perfect, and the rest is just like riding a bike.
You're a sage, Charlie. You're a sage. I'm guessing by that you mean that in the same vein as tennis, it's all about the start, it's all about the serve.
It is all about the start. I think from my experience it is. Don't have a very good gate start, but the thing is with this, people come from different disciplines, and some people have a BMX background and they'll have amazing gate starts, and that is just an advantage already. But let's not get it wrong. You know, you still have to ride the whole course, and there's a lot of different elements in this course, which makes it one of the best courses we've seen.
Okay, one of the people who's going to be on the course today, who is an absolute master of dual slalom and pump track, is Caroline Buchanan.
The dual slalom course, 80% of the top of it is definitely security in the turns. It's fast, it's wide open, and some technical jump on, jump off features with the doubles. The lower 20% with the flags, there is that room for error down there as well. So I think being a little bit more patient in the flags at the bottom, the execution of those flat turns and maintaining speed, and at the top, really about trying to gap away and not make mistakes in the technical features.
Straight from the horse's mouth. If you want to do well at dual slalom, listen to Caroline Buchanan. Right now, though, we can take a look. We know that the crowns, both the king and queen, are harsh. They're incredibly hard-fought battles. But the Queen of Crankworx, if you've been following the events over the course of the week, you know that Via Verbeek tied that up this morning with a solid performance in the pump track. But there is an amazing battle developing between Casey Brown, Keilani Hines, and Harriet Burbage-Smith for second and third place. And it is going to come down to the dual slalom today. So this one is, all three of them in the dual slalom, this is going to be very, very tight. These are the points that are up for grabs, 100 for first, right down to 15th for 10th place. But all three of those women, Hines, Brown, and Harriet Burbage-Smith, are in the top 8, so they've got solid points. We know that Via Verbeek's taken that 20 grand for the Queen. We know that her life partner, Baz van Steenbergen, has taken the King as well, so we've got a proper relationship King and Queen there as well. But $15,000 up for grabs. It'll be split 10,000, 5,000 between two of the three women. And you can see Harriet Burbage-Smith there. She actually got a bye in the round of 16, Charlie, and without someone to race against, it looked like she actually struggled with it.
Yeah, she was actually cruising and maybe not focusing as much as she needed to, and she, went down. So hopefully she's, got that focus back, and then she's got a carrot to chase with that competitor.
Well, the reason we talked about her is because we won't see her in the round of 16 highlights because she was on her own. But there were plenty of other good battles, and this will give you the first taste of the conditions the riders are facing. This was the women in the round of 16. This is the first battle, and very, very interesting. Two of New Zealand's best downhill specialists, Louise Ferguson going up against Shania Rawson.
Yeah. We thought Shania was going to have it after the first run, but Louise fought back and, managed to get that victory.
And there's something that you'll see coming through time and again. They're all smiling as they cross the finish line. This was Keilani Hines and Lynette Deacon giving a good account of herself, but we saw all of those flat track smarts, like the way that Keilani Hines can use terrain.
She was really just confident and just calm, I thought. She kept composed and was just smooth from top to bottom.
Yeah, Caroline Buchanan, fresh off her victory this morning in pump track, again looking very, very solid.
Actually, Katie Winton, did a solid effort here, and especially on the bottom half of the course, as you'll see, she was pedaling and really giving it a good shot. So
yeah, the traction that Katie Winton, the EWS specialist, has got was noticeable. But then you got Martha Gill, another British rider, looking very, very sharp against Charlie Lester-Rosson.
I think she's comfortable in the wet conditions, and she was just smooth. It's the confident and not trying too hard, but keeping a consistent speed the whole way down.
Okay, we can take a look now at the women's bracket of how they're going to match up in the round of 8. And already you've got the mouth-watering prospect of Hines and Buchanan. We called Caroline Buchanan the disruptor. Those two were top seeds in pump track. Going head-to-head, they've got a very similar skill set. So that Heat 2 stands out to me. What about you?
Yeah, I think that Heat 2 is definitely going to be one to watch. And, Martha Gill in Heat 3, I'm excited to see that too.
100%. Harriet Burbage-Smith going to struggle against Martha Gill. Okay, take your seats, ladies and gentlemen. Strap yourselves in. Make sure your tray tables are stowed. We won't be serving in-flight meals. There is guaranteed turbulence. Casey Brown versus Louise Ferguson. Ferguson very, very quick in yesterday's downhill. Casey Brown just trying to get the right gear on the start gate here.
It's very important, that gear, but I would expect her to have it, figured out before this stage, but, she's looking relaxed, so maybe it's not going to her confidence too much.
Well, I think the fact that this is such a lottery with the conditions has taken a lot of the pressure off people. We've seen big smiles all the way through qualification in the round of 16.
We all know how much fun it is riding the mud.
Under starters orders, and they're away.
Good starts from both of them. They're looking dead even. Casey's just doubling those first two in the rhythm section there.
And that's where we've seen people pulling away, isn't it?
Look at the speed she's carrying. Onto the on-off feature, and then here we go up the scrub wall. And this is where it gets interesting, Ed.
You can hear them giggling as they come into this section.
It's just a short sprint here to the finish. And if they can keep it together,
Ferguson very, very quick. Wow. Louise Ferguson made up a phenomenal amount of ground in that last 10 meters.
That was a lot closer than I expected.
Very, very impressive from Louise Ferguson there.
Look how happy they are.
Well, it's so much fun. You can hear them laughing off the back of the scrub wall. Ferguson, the flyer out of Fort William, really made this last section of the track pay.
That was impressive because she was a few bike lengths behind coming into that section.
But Casey Brown goes quite wide there, I think.
You're right. And Ferguson was keeping it tight, and then she'd get on the pedals straight away.
If you sat at home wondering what's going on here, that they're going so slowly, that is wet grass and it's totally flat, so they can't angle the bike into it. If they lean it over, they're literally riding on ice, aren't they?
Yeah, it's treacherous. That last part of the course, they're just tiptoeing down there. But you have to, there's no other option.
Okay, Keilani Hines versus Caroline Buchanan. This was the final in pump track this morning. These two, so good, both with very, very strong BMX backgrounds, so they're going to be great using the terrain, but they might struggle on the traction.
They're off. Good start from both of them. Caroline Buchanan looks so comfortable on the top half of this course.
Okay. Both of them working that terrain very quick.
It looks like they're almost dead even coming into this section.
Great acceleration from Buchanan, but now Hines back into it as they get on the anchors for the first of these flat berms.
Looks like Hines is just in front here.
It's the flat gate. Buchanan struggling there, and Hines has come away with the first race.
Oh, that was exciting. It looks like Buchanan there's on a hardtail, so maybe she's missing some traction in that bottom half of the course.
Oh, look at that, the psychological battle.
And they're quite serious compared to the heat before.
Yeah, first blood goes to Keilani Hines here. But Caroline Buchanan, you can see on the drone shot here, she had a decent advantage. She's always so strong on the start.
Those rhythm sections, she looks really strong through those as well.
Keilani Hines, though, making it pay down that second straight. This was where, actually, it wasn't as much of an advantage as I thought. It looked like they both came over the scrub wall there together.
Yeah, but it looked like Buchanan had to go the long way around the corner. She's on the outside line, and that, maybe you have to be in front if you're on that line, going to that scrub wall.
It's so gnarly.
Otherwise, they do get a time penalty, don't they, Craig?
You can hear Caroline Buchanan there, just saying this is so gnarly. Now, before we get into this next race, we've got some tips on how to do well at Crankworx from Martha Gill.
Hi there everybody, my name is Dr. Ewan Spirits. I'm the Crankworx World Tour athlete physician supported by LEAT, the official protection wear partner of the Crankworx World Tour. We're here at the specialised dual slalom with Martha Gill to give you some tips on staying safe and having fun on track.
Hey everyone, my name's Martha Gill and I'm here today at Crankworx Rotorua competing in dual slalom.
So you might not know this, but if you want to compete at a Crankworx event, you are going to need a full face helmet. We get up to some pretty high speeds racing dual slalom, and you want that protection if you're going to go down.
One way that I like to generate speed is by manualing through the rollers, which really helps me keep a good rhythm and maintain my speed. I just keep my front wheel high and really push through my legs to generate speed. As I work through practice, I'll start with manualing through the rollers, but as I get more confident with the course and it gets bedded in, I'll start to double them up as well.
Wearing a full face helmet during dual slalom gives me that extra bit of confidence, especially when we're hitting the corners and jumps at speed. You never know when you're going to make a little mistake in a corner or case a jump, so it's always good to have that added bit of protection. There's some tips for staying safe and having fun at dual slalom. I'll see you on course.
Yes, you will, Martha. Look at that. It's a good-looking layout helmet, that one. She's got the goggles to match as well. Thank you for those tips, keeping us safe out there. Full-face helmets, absolutely compulsory at Crankworx now. Harriet Burbage-Smith going up against Martha Gill. They're under starters' orders. Big race for the title at stake here for Harriet Burbage-Smith.
They're off. Looks like Harriet had a good gate start there, but they're pretty much even.
Martha Gill looks so sharp, but Harriet going big over those doubles.
So Martha with the manual there, she was losing a little bit of speed.
She's got the inside of this turn though, nose manual, getting the pump. Oh, came up short.
Over that scrub wall. Oh, Harriet's really lost a lot of speed on that corner there, drifting out.
I love it, it looks like she's coming back. Or Speedway, doesn't it?
It does, Martha's coming back really well. This is dead even.
Oh, what a comeback from Martha Gill. Quarter of a second. She's put on Harriet Burbage-Smith after trailing the entire race.
It's amazing that those bottom few corners can make all the difference.
It's, yeah, you race, essentially you're racing 420 metres and the last 30 metres seem to be where each of these races is decided.
I think it's because of the conditions.
Gotta be. Great work from Harriet Burbage-Smith up top. She knows that's going to give her confidence. She'll know that she's got it up there. She's just got to tidy up that bottom section. This is where I think she loses it. She skids really hard.
It was that corner there, she almost came to a standstill. Whereas Martha, you know, she was behind, but she just kept the speed rolling, and it transferred through this whole section here.
Well, she stays on the cranks as well.
She's pedaling.
That's almost the downhiller, isn't it?
She's an enduro downhill athlete, and yeah, it does show.
Started out as an under-18 XC rider for British Cycling and then found her way into EWS, and she's been going from strength to strength, hasn't she?
Yeah, Martha, I love watching her on Instagram. She's got some amazing videos. She's one of the best wheeliers or manualers I'll ever see, and she'll do wheelies with the front wheel out of the bike.
I've seen that, yeah.
That's quite cool.
Okay, is it going to be another Cinderella story she's made? A win in downhill. She made the podium this morning in pump track. Jenna Hastings chasing another bit of glory here in dual slalom up against Cassie Voicey in the round of 8 in the specialised dual slalom.
Both get away cleanly there. Oh, the doubling through that section there looks to be a bit quicker, I think.
Definitely. Jenna Hastings can see her getting in front, but she's used the inside of that berm to get ahead now.
Onto the stall wall there.
Jenna going wide, but safe. Very, very close this one. Cassie Voicey with a great line. And she's up on the cranks early.
It's dead even again. This is so exciting.
So,
Cassie does it.
Oh, 75 hundredths of a second.
Oh, is she all right?
I think she's just really exhausted. I think she was spinning up so hard. You're just turning the cranks with zero traction through that last 30 metres. Great start from Jenna Hastings, Charlie.
It was a great start. It looked like Cassie forgot to breathe there, I think. You know, she did whatever it is, 30, 40 seconds with no breathing at all.
So Jenna pumping those 2 packs there, and there you can see it. Cassie Voicey just using the air there. A lot of times you say you're slower in the air, like Jenna using the pump track technique from this morning, but here's this vital last 30 metres where we've seen so many races won and lost already.
This is one of the closest ones we've seen yet.
Yeah. Could have blinked 3 times in the distance between them there.
The second race is going to be, you know, very exciting with that tight of a margin.
Okay, let's take a look at the bracket after the first races. Casey Brown has got just under 2/10 on Louise Ferguson. Then we've got Hines just over Buchanan. That was one of the most fascinating races. A second for Buchanan to catch up. Not unthinkable, because those two are definitely struggling with the traction. And that battle between Martha Gill and Harriet Burbage-Smith, I think that's going to be one to keep an eye on.
That was exciting. It could go either way. I mean, Martha she had a really good bottom section, but you know, if Harriet can match that, then I think it'll be close.
Okay, we've seen the women in action. Now it's the turn of the men, and this is we've seen the women laughing. The men were in absolute fits and stitches coming over the finish line.
Yeah, we had two-wheel drifting, and we had people crossing the finish line on the ground. So yeah, it was very exciting. I think it's going to be the same. It's drying out a little bit, but it's still slippery in that bottom half.
Okay, well, we know that the Queen has been decided with Via Verbeek, but the King has also been decided, and many people know that it was decided before we even got to Rotorua. It is one of the hardest titles to win in competition. You've got to be basically got to be on your game from Innsbruck through BC into Rotorua. You've got to be on your game in pump track, dual slalom, speed and style. And well, you kind of got to have it on the whip off a little bit as well, I think. I don't know if the points are up for grabs there, but it is an all-round competition, isn't it?
It is, and you've got to stay fit and healthy, and you've got to look after your bikes, you know. You can't be having mechanicals in your heats or anything. That's when you can lose out and miss those vital points. So keeping the body healthy and the bike running, it's easier said than done.
Okay, a lot of work each year goes into creating the trophies for the King and Queen. The coronation is going to go down tomorrow after the slope contest. Let's take a closer look at those trophies.
The whakairo pieces, the whakairo rākau, the 4 taonga we call them, or treasures that we've selected as trophies for Crankworx 2021. Yeah, we thought what better way to honour such an awesome kaupapa or an event such as Crankworx, and to have our staff and students from the institution with a strong legacy and a whakapapa to honour this occasion. So yeah, we've selected 4 taonga. We have for the King and the Queen Award, we have 2 tefa tefa. Those are the longer handheld weapons. In our culture, these are the most prized weapons, and they go to a rangatira or a chief, male or female. So very fitting for the King and the Queen that they receive these 2 weapons of huge mana or respect in our culture. The other 2 taonga selected were for the Spirit and the Breakthrough Awards, what we call teko teko. And they have the traditional puhoro designs on the legs. And puhoro is quite fitting for Crankworx as well because it represents speed and agility. So yeah, really appropriate for the occasion, and just great to be part of this Crankworx 2021.
It's lovely hearing just how much those trophies mean. You can take a look at the King leaderboard there. Absolute consummate dominance from Bas van Steenbergen. 400 points daylight between him and Jackson Frew. You can see Tohotori Kipene though, his performances over the last couple of days, pulling him up into a $5,000 position at the moment. Thomas Lemoyne though as well in a very strong position, but not racing dual slalom. So a solid result from Tohoto today. If he can get a win, 50 points. So if it's 5th place or higher, using the maths there, then he could be in a shot with 2nd place.
Yeah, I think so. I think Tohoto was looking really strong in the qualifying, and he's got that BMX background, so I'm expecting to see something pretty special from him.
Yeah, he didn't have it all his own way in the round of 16 though. Let's take a look at the highlights and see how he got on. This is how muddy it was, people just bashing their tyres. This was one of the big races though. Bas van Steenbergen took Connor Hamilton to town in the first race. It was close. The second race,
he slipped a pedal and he just couldn't get it back on.
So Connor Hamilton took that battle out. And this one, Brooke McDonald going up against Lockie Stevens McNabb. Brooke going down in the first race.
Brooke goes down and then he comes back in the second round and he rode really well. He just kept his head, and a few mistakes from Lockie and a missed gate, and there we go. Brooks into the next round.
Lockie had the lead in that one, and Lockie again lost it in that last 30 metres. This one's brilliant though. Passionate amateur and Patrick de Leon Ampere going up against one of New Zealand's finest, and he gave a really good account of himself.
He was keeping Blinky honest, and look, both of those guys were having so much fun. You can just tell from their riding style.
And then Tohoto, he's in the running for King of Crankworx prize money. He really struggled with this one in places, didn't he?
Yeah, he did, and he's actually borrowing Mikey's bike. So he, a bit of friendly competition between the 2, but he came back in that second run and just stayed, consistent and calm.
Mikey Hadler crossing the line, wheels first there. That was fantastic. And this is the matchup. So the seeds are next to them at the end. Which of these brackets really stands out to you?
I'm really excited to see Tohoto and Blinky up against each other. I think that'll be pretty cool.
It's definitely that one, isn't it? It's the master and the apprentice of New Zealand mountain biking. And just a quick one here. You said earlier on, I said, This is going to be really, really good. We were both super pumped before this started, but you said, I'd like it if it rained again and keep it really, really interesting. And what's he doing, Charlie?
Well, it's starting to drizzle, Ed, and I think things are going to just get more and more exciting as we go into, you know, these final rounds.
This is the weather god just having a little stir of the pot in dual slalom, isn't it?
He's giggling.
Absolute mischief as we start the men's. So, first of the round of 8 races,
Apparently 20 seconds
we've got
now.
Brooke McDonald, the Bulldog, in blistering form today. He's not taking no from an answer on this course, and he's going up against Connor Hamilton, 2 of New Zealand's finest in the downhill game. There's some bragging rights at stake here, Charlie.
I know, the New Zealanders always are pretty competitive.
Under starters orders.
Watch the gate.
Brooke cranking hard out of the start there, and he might have a little edge over Connor in the first step.
Oh, Connor's doubling in. Brooke was showing a lot of aggression in those first few corners there.
And he yanked it out of that.
He just leant it in. He was completely horizontal in that one.
But this is where Brooke went down before. Can he hold on?
It's a bit grippier than before, but that rain is going to start affecting this section. He might have missed the gate there, but
who, Brooke?
No, I think he's right. He clipped it, but he didn't miss it, so he doesn't get a penalty.
1.1 seconds to change.
That's a good advantage.
Yeah, that's Brooke McDonald would have taken that. If you'd offered him a second at the top of the course, they definitely would have taken that. Brooke got gypped by the rain yesterday in the downhill racing, so we'll be looking for a bit of redemption here today. Place in the semi-finals would be a just reward. Look at that great technique, nose manual.
I think Brooke is just attacking the whole way down the course. I think there was sections where Connor was actually gaining some speed, but Brooke just never let off the gas pedal.
Yeah, it's a bit like the Incredible Hulk, isn't it? You don't want to make Brooke angry.
No, you want to be friends with him, not enemies.
Okay, so Brooke McDonald taking first blood in that race, but it is a race of 2 halves.
20 seconds.
Connor Hamilton doing his best good-looking face there.
Two
This one's a good one. Whoa, Dave McMillan versus Dan Booker. Dan Booker with a really crisp technique in the round of 16.
Yeah, he's just confident, and his bike skills are really, showing. He actually took a year. He took a year off social media to work on his skills, and it's paid off.
Yeah, the Tasmanian Devil out of Hobart using the doubles there, but he's cased it slightly.
He's still gaining though. Dave had a good start, but Booker's he's gaining.
Big Dave, one of the Van Zacks and a zoo resident.
Over the scrub wall cleanly.
Oh, they're sliding through here.
It's very close.
Absolutely neck and neck, nothing to choose. And slightly wide for Dave there, I think, as they came through the last gate.
There's nothing in it. There's nothing in it going to the next round for them.
8300s, 83,000s, actually, I should say. Very, very impressive.
Dave's really putting that specialised stunt jumper to work through there.
Tell you what, Dan Booker's definitely had the hose on his bike as well between rounds, hasn't he?
Well, both bikes are looking quite clean.
Yeah. The valets have been hard at work. This was so close here, though. Look at that. Neck and neck. They were absolutely square.
I couldn't even tell, who was going to get across that line first.
So the blink of an eye separating Dave McMillan and Dan Booker. That is going to be a great race between the Australian and the Tasmanian in the second round.
That's a bit of bragging rights for them too, isn't it?
Yeah, a little shout out to the Makos, or Marcos, I've got to say it right. Now this was the one we were both looking forward to. Blenky on the left, Tortoriki Pene on the right. 2 behemoths of New Zealand downhill mountain biking. To be fair, they've both got some all-round skill. They're blasting out of the gate.
Tahuto's got a slight edge coming into the section here.
But Blenky, little ET there to get the back wheel speed up. Driving through so much pace.
These are 2 of the best guys to watch on a bike. And Blenky just scrubs over that wall, drifting straight into it.
It's speedway, then totally, maybe a front wheel for Tahuto as they come into the final straight.
Tahuto gets it, but I can hear Blenky crunching the gears coming into that pedal section.
Absolutely phenomenal race. Those 2 really, really enjoying this. It's like we've taken the lottery aspect out of it, but there's still a lack of traction. So no one's just falling over, but it's a real battle to try and build speed on that final flat section.
I think coming into it with speed, like going slow enough over that scrub wall to actually hold good speed through the next part of the course is key, because a lot of people over brake, you know, then they lose that section. Yeah, but if Blinky came in really fast there though.
And he hadn't actually straightened up the scrub, so he landed sideways. He was already drifting.
But Tahuto there, he didn't really drift, he just held his speed, whereas Blinky maybe drifted a bit more.
Do you think Blinky had a gear change down the final straight then?
I think coming into it.
Right.
Yeah, just before it straightened up, and there were those flags, those grassy flags, he changed the gears there.
Dropped it down a cog and gave it a handful.
You can hear it crunching.
Back up to the top is the last, fourth and final of our matchups. Brady Stone, who was very, very quick in the round of 16, going up against Lewis Hamilton, younger brother of Connor, the Rotorua locals. No shortage of support from those that are here.
Oh, looks like Louis got a bit of start there, but I wouldn't count Brady out because he's shown us what he can do in the bottom half of this course. And he's gaining already.
He's got the long way through that berm, then neck and neck here.
The on-off feature, Brady was a little bit short.
So
but he's oh, they're just tiptoeing, but they're actually holding good speed, and they're straight on the pedals here.
Oh, and it's just going Brady Stone's way, 7 thousandths of a second. That was phenomenal.
That's the closest one yet. I wasn't sure if Brady was going to, you know, get back that small margin he lost at the top half, but
he seemed to claw that back really easily here, didn't he? Just doubling through. And Lewis tried.
It's amazing if you just get a couple of good transitions, or if you mess up one transition, it makes all the difference.
So Brady Stone.
Look how low he's keeping his front wheel over that first tabletop there.
But it looked like Brady Stone really killed his speed there. The Looker's left-hand track, the one that Brady Stone's on there, you've got a very, very tight corner.
Yeah, after that scrub wall.
It's a disadvantage, isn't it? Because the other, I suppose you're racing on each side of the track, but...
Yeah, but it does seem like
it's not an even-handed, yeah.
Those two corners, that one and the next corner, have had the most problems on that left-hand side that we're looking at.
Most definitely. Okay. So,
but I think it's drying out a little bit. That drizzle hasn't affected it, and it's stopped now. So I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing some faster times.
Okay, well, the big topic of conversation today undoubtedly is traction. So with that in mind, let's throw to our Maxxis tyre check.
Hey, Sam Blinken's up here.
Hi, I'm Cassie.
Hey, I'm Basman Steenbergen, and this is my Maxxis tire check for my dual slalom bike. So in the front, we got a 27.5 tire. We're running the Mini and DHF at 2.5, and I run about 33 to 35 PSI in that, depending on how the track conditions are. And then in the back, we got a 26-inch wheel with the DHR2, so it's nice and grippy, and then in the back it's 2.4, just so that it rolls a little bit faster. I run about 35 PSI or a little bit higher in there. Traction here is usually pretty good, so I like to run it pretty high so that it also rolls really fast.
I'm running at the rear, the DHR2 29, and at the front, the Assegai. So I'm running the 29er wheels just for a bit more rolling speed and traction, especially for the last few turns at the bottom of the track that are flat. So on the rear, I'm running 3C Max Terra, and then on the front, we've got the Max Grip, which is better traction around the corners on the slalom.
I'm running the Assegai up front, double down casing, and the Aggressor on the rear. Tire pressure is 23 in the front and 26 in the back. Pretty much my trail setup, my fun setup, my get after it setup.
So I was actually talking to Blinky just before, and he's gone up in his pressures. Well, he had before the rain came. So it's interesting to know if he's gone back down or not. But he went up to, similar to Bass, 30 and 35, because he said the track, you know, in that top half, you want to keep your rolling speed.
But then you've got to let the pressure out of the tyres to get more traction.
I know, and traction's the key. After the rain came down, I saw a few people actually letting out a few PSI. Just, you want to maximise traction, because that's where the race is won or lost at the moment.
Okay, let's move back into the women's bracket. We got Casey Brown and Louise Ferguson. Very, very tight battle there. More than a second between Buchanan and Hines. A lot to make up. I've got my eye on that Harriet Burbage-Smith, Martha Gill battle, because a quarter of a second for Harriet Burbage-Smith to make up. If she wants to hold on to that second place spot in the Queen of Crankworx title, she's got to win that battle. Right now, though, we're kicking off with Louise Ferguson on the left-hand gate and Casey Brown in the right.
Ready, watch the gate.
Good starts from both of them there.
This will be a big scout for Louise Ferguson if she can beat Casey Brown.
Looks like Casey's got an early lead, but she just cased that first double there.
Little case on the second one for Louise Ferguson,
Yeah,
I think,
Louise!
as well.
Into this tabletop now. Casey's still holding that gap there.
But this is where Louise did well, but she's got that tighter turn out of the scrub wall.
I'd say Louise is catching slightly, but I don't know if she can catch up to Casey.
Oh, it's just under 2/10 of a second. And it's almost 8/10, so Casey Brown is going to go through there. Once you add that all up, nearly a second difference between
I was
them.
trying to get you the end. I was like,
It looks like Louise was just a little bit nervous there. And
you're not going fast enough to get it.
Very, very difficult to call because when you're that far back, you know you've got to risk it all in that last section. But you said it earlier on, you're tiptoeing on ice.
yeah, you are. Once you get to those last corners, yeah.
It's a case here for Louise. Looked like it pulled a bit of the speed out of that first straight.
It looked like, a few of those little mistakes, and she lost the rhythm a bit. And I think she couldn't quite get it back. She almost caught up there, but Casey was just staying consistent, and it paid off in this race.
And potentially Casey's got the faster line after that scrub wall there, though. It's not quite as tight a turn, so...
I actually saw Casey go wide after that scrub wall and use the bank to help turn. Because there's no traction if you're on the flat, so she went up on the bank and turned on it.
Okay, very, very interesting.
Sky.
Okay, let's take a look at Keilani Hines' results in dual slalom this year. It is pretty impressive, but she's currently only a second back, I think. So, dual slalom in Rotorua in 2018, a second place, fourth in Whistler, second in Innsbruck, fifth, third, and then a first in dual slalom in Silverstar. That was the most recent event. She also took a first in pump track. She is in devastating form. The confidence and the form book says Hines all the way, doesn't it? But she's up against one of the greatest BMX and four-cross riders in history.
She's got a second to play with too, doesn't she?
Yeah, she can relax a little bit on this one, but you don't want to relax too much.
They're off.
So Hines racing hard already. Buchanan with it all to do.
Buchanan is really quick to the rhythm section here.
Lovely little manual to build speed through the middle of that second double.
Her BMX skills are pretty perfect. Remember, Hines here is on the full suspension. So she's got a lot of traction in this part of the course here.
Buchanan. Oh, very nice cornering from Keilani Hines. She's made up so much ground.
It's pretty even. If they can hold on to it, it looks like Keilani is going to advance there.
Two tiny mistakes from Buchanan in those gates, and it cost her everything.
Because she was actually, in the top half, she was looking really strong.
She'd got a bike length coming into the scrub wall, and then she's lost it all. A second and a half back, another half a second there. So Keilani Hines putting all the pressure on Harriet Burbage-Smith now. I think Harriet Burbage-Smith would have been looking at that heat and wondering if Buchanan could do her a favour.
Yeah, and I think what's interesting about this heat for me is the different bikes, the hardtail versus the full suspension. And you actually can see the top half of the course is suited to the hardtail and the bottom half is suited to that fully. And Hines really, used that to her advantage in that second half. She was getting so much more traction than Caroline down there.
And what's interesting, you're travelling so fast on the top section of the course that the differential of speed is not that much. It slows down so much here that you make a mistake that it's paying 2- or 3-fold.
Exactly, because the gaps might not be as big, but there's so much more time in that gap.
So Caroline Buchanan still got a smile on her face, but Keilani Hines, for the first time, allowing herself a little bit of excitement there, I think. She's tucked it back away, though. She knows the semi-finals just around the corner.
Trying to keep the poker face on. But I think she's quietly confident.
Okay, so Harriet Burbage-Smith, if she wants to keep the pressure on Hines, she needs to get a result here against Martha Gill, which is no small feat. Gill, very, very talented.
Yeah, Gill has just got, textbook bike handling skills, and she also has that traction in that bottom half of the course.
Oh, lovely. You talked about it. That manual coming into play. She is so good on the back wheel.
I've seen her practicing them, and it's paying off because she is just making it look easy through those rollers.
Pretty good on the front wheel there as well. She kept the nose down and tucked the back wheel into the downside of that berm.
She's looking, mistake from Harriet.
Keilani Hines is sniping for second place, and Harriet Burbage-Smith just coming out at the end there. And again, this last 30 meters through the gates plays its part and decides one of the battles.
It was exciting, but she just lost it on those crucial corners.
I love an awkward hug in full faces. It's so good.
The chin bash.
Look at that on the back wheel.
You can see she generated a lot of speed in that second manual there.
You called it. She's so confident on the back wheel. It's going to make her very, very dangerous going through. She's on the opposite side of the draw to Keilani Hines, though.
You see how close they're getting to the gates there. It's every inch. You're trying to get as inside to these gates as you can, but it's not easy in these conditions.
It'll be interesting to see. It looks like we're going to see Martha Gill going up against either Cassie Voicey or Jenna Hastings. Second best time of the day. We've just had that confirmed behind Keilani Hines. I think that they're on opposite sides of the draw, Martha Gill and Keilani Hines. So that we could be looking at a final there if conditions stay the same. We're just looking out to the west, southwest, and doesn't look like there's any rain on the horizon. Last of the women's round of 8. It's the second run, so this will decide who advances to the semi-final. Jenna Hastings or Cassie Voicey. Cassie Voicey in the turquoise on the right-hand side of your screen.
Cassie took the first heat here, so Jenna's going to have to really put it on the line, but she's pumping well through that section there.
Great timing. Voicey with it all to do now. She's got to concentrate and make this up.
This is where it really comes into play here.
These two corners. Line.
Jenna, oh no!
That's it, that's the
Cassie goes down.
She knew she had to speed it up.
And Jenna's smoothly across the finish line there, so that's going to be her advancing.
Yeah, the clock's still running. Cassie Voicey gets a round of applause as she comes through here.
She really, she was laying it all on the line, and you've got to because the margins are so tight.
Well, I think Cassie Voicey will be rightly disappointed there. You look at that. She had a little bit of an advantage over Jenna Hastings coming into this. She gave herself a little bit of a bump, it looks like. Take another look at this. Both of them slow over that scrub bump, just taking it easy, trying to control the speed.
I think, she was a bit off balance here.
It was a full knack.
Yeah. She was kind of side saddle, and then she never quite got the traction under control. And she's trying to, anti-steer to bring it back, but the front wheel's just pushing.
Yeah,
and once it starts to go, once you're off that riding line there, you're in that softer, looser, muddier stuff, and you can't bring it back. Well, it's hard to. It's very hard.
But Jenna Hastings, it's already been a Cinderella story for her. She came through, won the downhill, third in pump track this morning, and now she's made it into the semi-finals. She's guaranteed a spot at a shot at the podium, Charlie.
Yeah, I think, it's really cool seeing her yesterday, and then, today as well. After that first heat, maybe she was a little bit nervous, but she is quite composed, and it's impressive to see that, especially at a young age.
Yeah, and she's got a big battle there against Martha Gill, definitely, for a spot in the finals. But back up to the top now, and we've got the men in the gate. It's Connor Hamilton going up against Brooke McDonald. Fantastic battle first time round, but Brooke took first blood. He's got a little bit of an advantage to play with, but you can't write off Connor Hamilton. Won the downhill yesterday.
Yeah. And 6.
They're under starters' orders.
Random start. Riders ready. Watch the gate.
Good start from Connor.
So Connor's going to make up over a second here, which is easily doable on this course. Remember, these guys are both downhill specialists, so seeing them on the dual slalom track is pretty awesome. And I think the downhill guys today are doing so well on the dual slalom course.
Brooke has found another gear here, hasn't he? But he's got to be careful. He really can't cook it.
No, he's just got to stay smooth through these last corners. And he got around all the gates, so I think that'll be Brooke advancing there.
Very, very confident ride from the Bulldog there, Brooke McDonald. He's put another half a second on Connor Hamilton, so 1.722 overall.
Looks like Connor was struggling for grip there. He was actually checking his rear tyre, and it looked completely clogged up. So maybe when he's trying to pedal, he's just losing all his power.
Yeah.
Whereas you could see Brooke was attacking, and especially in that bottom bit.
He's going to be letting the snake out, isn't he, on that back tyre, just reducing the pressure potentially.
Yeah,
oh,
so
he slipped a pedal.
You see, I think he was actually almost unclipping early, but maybe too early.
He 100% was. What am I talking about?
But you know, yeah, trying to get your pedals on and off here is not easy.
Big ask. Look at that, and you can see how clogged those tyres are when you see those pictures.
His front wheel was actually sliding a bit, but he held it under.
Did you see Eddie
I saw
Masters
Eddie.
mouth agape in the background, cheering him on? Absolutely loving that. Eddie can't race here today. He's got a shoulder. Here we go. Let's watch this again. Watch out for Eddie Masters. He lives for racing.
He always says he's a good racer, but he's a #1 fanboy, and you can see it there. Look at him.
Absolutely loving that.
Yeah. I would love to know what he's yelling there. Maybe it's better if we don't hear it, but it'll be something entertaining.
There's the Tiki looking down on the start. He means business.
It's Dave McMillan and Dan Booker.
Oh, fantastic one between, I think it's Canberra and Hobart here.
Okay, riders, random start.
So,
this is bragging rights, isn't it?
Watch the gate.
Oh, fully is. And Dave McMillan with a bit of time to make up here. He's a big unit, and he's got a lot of inertia he can use. Oh, beautiful work from McMillan on the inside.
So Dave took corner like no one else, and he's also looking really good through these rhythm sections.
Nice little nose tap.
I'd say they're pretty even right now.
Dave, foot down, he's held on to it a little bit. He's got the lead, and it's certainly 0.808.
He's accelerating,
How close
that
is
was
that?
so close.
Unbelievable ride from Dan Booker. Dave McMillan snatching defeat from the jaws of victory in the last 5 meters there.
I feel for Dave. I thought he had it, but Dan, he deserves that because he just did not stop fighting. It was the last 3 gates, wasn't it?
Fantastic ride there.
A couple of meters of track that he made up that distance.
It's an absolute cliche, and to quote Shooter McGavin, the real winners here are the spectators. It's a cruel loss for Dave McMillan, but absolutely breathtaking racing.
Something interesting about Dave McMillan is he actually runs tubes in his tyre. Everyone runs tubeless, but Dave runs tubes because he corners so hard he often blows the tyre off. And the tube actually helps to keep it on. So there's a fun fact for today.
Look at this, he's got time to burn seemingly, but one little wide run there, he's on the cranks.
I think it was these last 3 gates here. And
you know what?
He almost lost it on that gate there even.
Watching this makes you want to go out and ride, doesn't it?
It makes you want to go out and drift down a grassy, muddy field.
Oh my goodness. Such good pictures. You can see how much fun everyone's having.
Booker he's just tapping each gate with his pedal, which is perfectly legal, but it means he's on the, the straightest line he can get.
Absolute racing
look at his
line
face.
from
He's trying his hardest.
Interestingly, Dave's head down and Dan Booker was head up. He was focused on the line from 2 gates back. He wasn't taking no for an answer there.
He almost wasn't even looking at that last gate. He was almost just looking across the finish line there.
Yeah, he's like, I'm on that finish line. This is mine.
He almost slid into the timing gate as well, but it paid off, and he's going to advance to that next round.
Yeah, specialised all the way on the dual slalom. Dave knows which side his bread's buttered. Now back up to the top. And we talked about this before. When will the apprentice become the master? Sam Blenkinsop.
We might find out soon.
Yeah, this is going to be the decider. Tori Kipene going up against Samuel Blenkinsop, a.k.a. Blenky. Very close between these two on the first run.
Blenky had a good couple cranks out of the gate there, but Tahuno's going to be good down the straight.
Look how hard Blenky's working now.
Well, he's got to make a good deficit.
The cardio's coming into play. Toto on the inside line here, needs something now.
There's 2 of New Zealand's top downhillers. And as I said, we've seen a lot of downhillers in these final rounds this evening.
Oh, Blenky's on the back wheel. It's 1.65 back. I've forgotten in the drama of the race. I forgot what it is.
Goes through.
Just by 500ths.
That is the skin of his teeth.
Wow, what a race from Toto Rikipene. Blenky wouldn't take no for an answer there. But bragging rights go to the 22-year-old.
I love watching Blinky, you know, on the bike. He's moving so much across the bike.
I take that back, he's 20 years old. Don't know where I got 22 from. Just 20 years old, and it really does feel like 2021 has been Tohoto's year, doesn't it?
Oh, he's actually, in the European season, he was just improving at every race, and I think he kind of has found his own confidence.
Ed made the comment yesterday in downhill that exactly that. He's found the confidence in qualification in the downhills, and that if there was such a thing as an NFL draft in downhill mountain biking, that Tohoto would now be #1 pick.
Oh, absolutely. We should have an NFL draft, but yeah, I think Tohoto, Eddie's actually been a really good mentor for Tohoto, and he's just said to him, he was struggling at the start of the season, he just said, you know, you've got the skills, you've got the fitness, just trust yourself, do what you've always done, and you'll be fine. And when he finally took that advice on board and just started doing his own thing,
he got it through. You look like you got cornrows there, Blenky.
You like that?
That looks, Charlie and I were just talking about it in the booth here. It looks like so much fun racing down that course.
Oh man, I haven't had that much fun on a bike in a long time. Well, yesterday was the same for the muddy conditions, but yeah, I was freaking loving it. That felt like a final for us, me and Teodo, so it was balls to the wall.
And we billed it as the master versus the apprentice. Was that the chat in the start gate as well?
Yeah, he was like, because he needs the points for the overall for the Crankworx. He wants to get some good points. So I was like, oh, we're racing, mate. So we'll see how it goes. But I was a rusty goat. I was shifting gears everywhere and I was all over the place. But yeah, I'm definitely keen to do some more of this stuff. It's awesome.
Blinky, I can actually hear you shifting gears coming into that last straight. I thought you might snap a chain.
Yeah, I was shifting up too many gears, and then I shifted up more gears, and then I had to go back down because I was like, oh, I'm going to have to pedal through the finish line. So yeah, I wasn't really thinking.
Thank you so much, Blenky. Commiserations, you didn't make it through, but some fantastic racing.
No,
that was
cheers.
awesome to watch.
Thanks guys.
Okay, back up to the top.
Yeah.
Blenky taking that one on the chin. Right now we've got Brady Stone going up against Lewis Hamilton.
And this is very close, isn't it?
And this is fantastic.
There's nothing in it. And this may well be, you know, a one-run final.
James Bond of matchups, 007. Except that Brady Stone potentially has the best line out of the scrub wall.
It looks like he was a little bit slow on the start, but oh no, Brady's gone off.
Oh, what happened? Do you think oversteer? Lost the back end?
I think he overturned on that corner and off the roller. He just got shot straight off the track.
Okay, so this one is Brady Stone's, if he can hold on. Oh, Lewis Hamilton, sorry, if he can hold on to it.
Absolutely, I think if he doesn't miss any gates here, he's going to advance. But it's a shame because they were such a good matchup, weren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. Grip to grip in the first race, and then all of a sudden it looked like an innocuous mistake there from Brady Stone, but something really, really small. We'll see it, I'm sure, on the replays. I said he lost the front. Let's have a look.
Oh, yeah. He took that foot off to try and save it, and luckily he stayed on the bike.
That's the incredible skill, isn't it? Okay, he lost control to begin with, but controlling that, what could have been a pretty bad fall.
Yeah, he didn't hit the deck, so I mean that's one positive to take away.
Yeah, he could have quite easily ended up shoulder barging the takeoff of that second double.
I don't think he slipped the pedal. I think he actually took his foot off on purpose to try and save it. But it did look like he was, had one foot on flying through the air there.
Okay, confirmation of the riders who are advancing to the semi-finals. We've got Dan Booker going up against the Bulldog, Brooke McDonald, and then we've got Tohoto Arikipene going up against Lewis Hamilton. Two very strong matchups there, but an almost all New Zealand field. Dan Booker, the lone Tasmanian there, waiting to make his presence felt. What are you feeling? I'm going to put you on the spot. Out of those four, who's going to make finals?
Oh, I mean, it's really hard to say, but I've seen, Brooke he's hungry tonight. He's really attacking, and I think same with Pene, with Tohoto is, he was looking so solid against Blinky. Blinky is not an easy rider to race against, and Tohoto has advanced through that round. I'd say I've got my money on him advancing to the final.
Yeah, I think so. I'd like to see Tohoto going up against Brooke McDonald. Right now, though, as we cut ourselves in between the round of 8 and the semi-finals, we can go over and take a look at one of the best places to warm down after a long day on the bike. This is one of the hidden gems for all of the locals in the know in Rotorua. Check it out.
The Secret Spot is a pretty cool place. It's a place where people come for a beer or a cup of coffee after their ride. It's just a prime place to have a cold beer after a forest experience. Things I like most about running Secret Spot is smiling faces of people coming back after their rides, wandering in for a drink, say hi, and just building those friendships up with the local community. They jump in hot pools here or experience shinny dipping, where you slide your shoes off, dip your feet into a little hot tub while you have a drink.
The spot's right at the base of the forest, so yeah, super accessible. You can ride your bike straight in. They've got a secret mountain bike access, so your bike's nice and safe while you're hanging out. Super cool to have the social aspect of being able to bring everyone together after a ride.
It's cool to just come back here and like chill out with a group of mates. Love being around the trees and chilling in a hot tub. Main place to chill out, you just push this button and then they bring you out another beer.
Hi guys, how are you? Good. How are you?
Seriously?
Yeah.
Just the perfect place to chill with your mates or your family. Yeah, no, it's cool.
Well, undoubtedly, I think we've got an import of Norse gods here. Loki, the king of mischief, appears to be in charge of the weather. You can see another torrential downpour bringing this course to its knees. Semi-finals are going to be an absolute riot, Charlie.
It's absolutely started bucketing down here, and, you know, I kind of feel sorry for the riders standing in the rain, but if I was to say I wasn't excited, I'd be lying.
Well, for us, sat under the tent, we're in the safety of the tent. You can see all the spectators, all the rest of the riders, they're just huddled under those iLab tents.
You can see Brooke's girlfriend there, Lucy. She's watching eagerly to see if Brooke can make it through to this final.
Yeah, you can see Dave McMillan putting the helmet on there. Okay, we can take a look at the schedule for tomorrow as well. While the rain comes down and we wait for the semi-final matchups to get up into the start gate, we can tell you that tomorrow we do have a fantastic forecast. We've got a dry, windless window between 11 a.m. and 1:30 p.m. tomorrow. We got a lot of practice away today, and the Maxxis slopestyle in memory of Magaza promises to be an absolute classic, an absolutely packed field of riders, so do not miss that. I'm really looking forward to that one. If you're in need of some merch, then you can head over to the Crankworx website. All of the details in there, you'll find all of the schedules. You can look at the riders, you can look at the King and Queen of Crankworx races, and then if you head over to the shop, you'll see all of the merch there that you can get really, really mucky as soon as you head to a trail. I've got my eyes on the Boneyard Bowl. I haven't worked out yet if it's for dog food or if it's like an old school MC Hammer style hat. Could double as a fanny pack, who knows. Right, this is the women's bracket. Casey Brown going up against Keilani Hines. That's going to be a big one. And then we've got Martha Gill going up against Jenna Hastings. I'm looking forward to that one because I think there's a lot of people, any neutrals out there will be cheering on Jenna Hastings. Youngest person in this competition, just 17 years old.
And set. Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to be very close between those two. And I think this is also going to be a really good matchup here between Brown and Hines.
Yeah, well, two different types of riders. You've got that real free ride element of Casey Brown blasting out of the gates, but you've got the contractual. Oh, mistake. This is where Hines should be taking the lead, but at the moment it's Casey Brown.
I think Hines, she unclipped one of those corners where she wasn't supposed to.
So Casey Brown taking advantage of that. We should see Casey Brown start to take the lead here. She's the traction specialist. But Keilani Hines putting the power down. Oh no! Casey Brown. You hear the groans from the crowd there. And the rain is playing its part again. 1.5 seconds is the maximum differential. Casey Brown going down to a big chunk for her to make up.
That was looking to be quite close before she went down there. But I think that rain shower, that downpour we just had, has already had such an effect on the course.
It's ridiculous, isn't it? It's not raining anymore. We've just seen a deluge. And all of a sudden, it's tidied itself up as soon as racing starts.
It's gone from a mountain bike track to an ice skating rink in a matter of minutes.
You really couldn't order it. If you could have ordered weather gods for today, a menu of weather, it would have been, yeah, we'll just take a deluge in between the rounds, please.
I think it's really hard for these riders because, you know, they're getting used to this track that's been drying all afternoon. And then, you know, they're sort of getting faster and faster on it, and then they've got to readjust with no practice and go into a run like this when it's wet again and somehow guess the right intensity to bring to it.
Oh, it's ridiculous. It's very, very cruel on the riders, but also it's very entertaining as a spectator, so I'm not complaining.
It's the best spectating. So it looks like, you know, a two-wheel drift there, and then the front was just, you know, gone, and because it's so wet, you're not getting any grip with those tyres. They're all clogged up.
Okay, so Keilani Hines, 1 foot in the finals. She's got another race to go there, and there are no guarantees, as we know only too well. So second semi-final, Martha Gill going up against the 17-year-old local Jenna Hastings, one of the hottest properties in New Zealand mountain biking right now.
Go, Jenna! Go, Jenna!
Good starts from both of them.
And it sounded, was that Martha or was that Jenna? One of them struggling through it, the exit of that berm.
It looks like Martha's lost her rhythm just a little bit, but you know, it's all in these last corners, especially with the rain.
Oh, really struggling to get over the wall there. Martha coming back into this. It is far from over. It looked like Jenna had an unassailable lead, but Martha is far away back here.
It looks like Jenna's going to be taking it, but
look at that, huge smiles. There's that old phrase that whoever's having the most fun is winning, and I think anyone who's riding today is winning. This is,
Oh my goodness me.
I'm jealous I'm not out there, to be honest, Ed.
It's absolutely, it's as loose as a rental bowling shoe. That's what it is.
Too right. Look, these guys are both enjoying themselves, and you can hear them giggling and laughing on the way down. I think that was Martha, but I'm not going to promise anything. Look at the scrub wall there. You lose all your speed coming into it with that rain.
And as you said, you've got to be unclipped, you've got to be foot down. It's speedway styles, flat tracking. Look at the rut line.
Look at that rut forming on that inside line there. And that's actually interesting because that's going to make it easier for the riders on that line.
But you said earlier on, it's easy if you're in the rut line. The moment you're out of it, you're gone.
Absolutely. If you get, you know, an inch off that riding line, it's game over.
Okay, so Jenna Hastings got a decent lead now into the second race. First of the men's semi-finals. Look at Brooke McDonald on the left-hand side of your screen there. He's just emanating intensity. Dan Booker, a little bit of a smile. Brooke, look at him. He wants this.
He's so focused, isn't he? And I mean, he's going to be attacking, which is great, but you know, it's slippery, so has he taken that into account? We're going to soon find out.
Well, he's already gone down. In the round of 16, he went down, and that didn't stop him.
No. Well, it takes a lot to stop this, man. You know, trees and rocks don't usually stop him, so he's
Broken
drifting
back.
a lot there.
Learning to walk again.
And again, he's... This is where Dan's really strong.
Coming back.
Oh, it's so close.
Both of them looking across at the clock there, desperate to see. Dan Booker only 500ths back.
You can
so close. It looked way more, didn't it? But you said it. He's got that finish straight. He's devastating.
Dan Booker, he comes into that third to last gate. He just looks up and just goes.
He's cracked the matrix to those last 3 gates, hasn't he? He's literally on the pedals, getting the front wheel up and powering over the finish.
He's the fastest guy through that section all day. And I don't know if it's the setup he's running or not. It looks like Brooke's bike's a bit stiffer than Dan's bike.
Interestingly, I think Dan Booker's got that side of the course, the measure of that side of the course as well. I'm not sure he's as fast when he gets into that rider's right-hand lane.
No. Yeah, I agree, but he was still really fast through that bottom section, though.
Look at the clogging on the slow-mo here on Brooke's tyre as well. There's zero grip.
Look at the power. He's using his leg to kind of power through that corner, and he's just drifting everywhere. Whereas Dan Booker's actually hooked that rut quite nicely, which is going to help his speed into the whole straight.
Yeah, he's already, look at him on the pedals.
It's so close.
Oh! Blink of an eye yet again.
But yeah, if Brooke can get into that rut, I think it's actually, you know, he's going to be in with a good chance of going through in this round.
Yeah, finally a smile on Brooke McDonald's face. We go back up to the top now. Lewis Hamilton with it all to do against Toto Arikipene.
The downhill winner from yesterday. And Tohoto had one of the most exciting runs in the downhill.
Yeah, exactly. They're two men who had a lot to take out yesterday, and you kind of feel like Tohoto wants a little bit of redemption here.
I think he does. Now it's even. The weather doesn't play a part because it's the same for both riders.
Toto generating a phenomenal amount of speed through that first straight.
Just ever since the gate start, he's been looking good. He was in front there, and he's just looking awesome down this section.
And he'll be able to hit. Oh, no! And he's got onto a balance technique, and Lewis Hamilton sliding out.
Oh my goodness, that was exciting.
Toto can't believe it. Look at the drama in that race. It's like a skid pan out there.
I'm just nervous watching this. This is so exciting.
I ran out of air. I was so busy yelling about Toto that by the time Lewis had spun out, it was over.
He did a 180 off the scrub wall. He was facing backwards, and he had to take his feet off and run around to the right direction. And then Lewis just drifted wide on that second corner after the scrub wall.
This is what Steve McQueen was talking about when he said racing is living, everything else is just waiting. It's so good. This is what we're looking at. So Toto coming in here, looks good. He's controlling it, and then whoosh, it's gone.
But to be able to save that and not crash is actually really skillful.
He looks like an 8-year-old who's just learned to skid, like rolling down a gravel driveway, doesn't he?
Look at his eyes. Look at it. Look how focused he is. He can't believe what's happening.
Oh, no!
He's looking back for Lewis as well.
Absolutely fantastic.
This is the best scenes. And then watch this here. Watch Lewis go into this corner here.
More drama than a series of Dynasty.
His back wheel misses the rut.
Oh, and that's what takes him. And he's like Brooke, he's trying to skip to catch up, but he can't do it.
He was expecting to get the grip of the rut, and he just had nothing.
Oh, Lewis, unlucky fella.
Once you lose your speed, it's so flat down there, it's so hard to get back up to that race speed. So Hudo's happy.
Big smile there. Lewis Hamilton, yesterday's downhill winner, has had to give way to Toto Arikipene, the man who many say had the run of yesterday in the rain but couldn't take the win. I mean, so he will get his shot at the finals now.
That rut we just saw there is, something we'd see on a downhill track. And again, we've got both those boys as downhill riders. So it's something that we're used to is, hooking into those ruts to generate speed.
Okay, second runs now. And
okay, gear right here.
This is going to be exciting.
Heat 1 for semi-finals.
Okay.
Keelani Hines going up against Casey Brown. It is actually the second run.
Set.
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
Away cleanly. Keelani Hines with a very good start there.
It's looking pretty even at the moment.
Casey Brown, such a low centre of gravity.
She's quite a small rider, but she's really working that 29er.
Beautiful work on that step over.
Off the scrub wall. Looks like they're both structuring that corner.
Hines. Can Brown make this pay? She needs the power, and this is where
so
Keelani
close
Hines
right now.
BMX background comes in. Casey Brown's got the lead, but is it going to be enough? 0.6 of a second. Oh,
Hines goes through.
It was that maximum 1.5 second differential, wasn't it? Casey Brown had fallen in the first race, so still 0.876 back for Casey Brown.
But credit to Casey, she didn't give up. She was fighting and, dominated that.
Gave a really good account of herself. Keelani Hines perhaps resting a little bit. She knows she's got a second and a half. If she goes down there, it's all gone, so taking it very, very easy.
Yeah, but, I mean, she might be taking it easy, but she's still really drifting around these corners.
Casey taking care to stay in that rut. She knows she's got the advantage.
She got that corner perfectly, didn't she? You can see Remy Morden in the background there as well, watching. It's quite cool having the riders out here just, loving the action. Everyone loves a mud race, especially as a spectator.
Oh, it is absolutely fantastic. So Keelani Hines, our first finalist. Casey Brown will be battling it out for the bronze medal in the specialised dual slalom. Now though, Jenna Hastings, left-hand side of the picture, has a lead over Martha Gill. but Martha Gill has been so crisp, so sharp. 1.182 seconds though to make up. It's a big ask.
They're both away clean. Can Martha make up over a second? You know, anything's possible, but Jenna's been looking so confident and relaxed, you know. For such a young rider, she is looking calm under pressure.
Martha trying to use that manual to devastating effect again. It just didn't work for her.
I think once you get out of the rhythm, maybe because it's raining and the track's running slower, she's not being able to get that manual rhythm. Oh!
Big slide for Jenna Hastings.
Martha's in the right.
And she's got the power now. Can Jenna hold on to this?
It's accelerating.
So close.
Oh, looks like Jenna's going to go advance, but Martha really looking good on that bottom half of the course.
A brilliant race for the layout rider there.
Swap over.
We saw her talking about the safety gear earlier on.
Oh, bro.
She needed it on this one, sliding around everywhere.
That was a really exciting one.
Yeah, it's as greasy as a late night Saturday kebab, this course, and it's definitely delivering some drama.
I just really think Jenna is, you know, riding with confidence that is pretty rare for a 17-year-old.
It's unbelievable, isn't it? She's looking so. That's the word for it. It's confident.
Look at the drift there. She doesn't get phased by it. She just keeps riding.
Almost a carbon copy of Doriki Penne.
You're right. It's actually almost exactly the same.
So looking, I think you've hit the nail on the head there with that one, Charlie. It's confidence.
And she's determined. Look at her face coming across the line there. That is good racing.
Really enjoying herself. Well, we can go down into the finish area now where Jenna's got the headset on. You've had smiles all day today, Jenna.
Yeah, it's so fun out here. The mud is just making it so much fun.
And do you feel a difference coming over that scrub wall? Is there a difference in speed coming across on that right-hander from the left-hand lane to the right-hand lane?
I think the left-hand lane is a little bit faster. You can kind of hit the bank on the side and carry a bit more speed out of it, but the right-hand one is certainly freaky.
Yeah, it looks very slippery. I was just thinking, you're looking very calm and composed, especially for someone as young as yourself. Has that always been your style, or is it something you figured out recently?
I'm just trying to have fun with it, really. Just let the result take care of itself, and what happens, happens.
Awesome. Well, it's working, so keep it up.
Thank you.
A spot in the finals guaranteed for Jenna Hastings. This is confirmation of the standings. We've got Keilani Hines going up against Jenna Hastings. So 5th seed Hines going up against 2nd seed Jenna Hastings. Casey Brown was the 1st seed before it rained critically. She'll go into that bronze medal matchup against Martha Gill. So could it be another win for Jenna Hastings? 2 wins and a 3rd place. That'd be phenomenal, Charlie.
That would be incredible. I think Crankworx World Tour really provides some cool stories, and we already have an amazing story with Jenna from yesterday. And you know, this would just add to it, wouldn't it? And I really love it how she's just having fun. And like you said, it's working. She's winning. She's having fun and winning.
Whoever's having the most fun wins, and it's definitely the recipe for Jenna Hastings. Brooke McDonald going up against Dan Booker. Brooke made all of the advances in the main part of the course, but Dan Booker, you cannot write him off. That last 40 meters is where he excels.
Look at this. Bulldog is just attacking out of that start gate every lap.
So semi-final 2. Dan Booker out in front now. He knows he's got it to do.
A little mistake from Bulldog, but he's already back to almost the same place on the track.
Bulldog. Oh! And that has paid again to Ricky Penny went there. Jenna Hastings went there. Now Dan Booker's gone there.
Oh, and Bulldog's just going to cruise though.
Yeah, if he stays on his feet, it's his.
That was exciting. Booker was looking so strong.
Oh, it was beautiful. You thought he was going to take it there. But there were a couple of shots. It's almost providence. Like, Brooke's never going to let it happen. You could see when he fell back, Brooke was not letting go of that one.
But I think maybe just some riders are a little bit too confident after that scrub wall with the rain we've had. Usually you get away with it. With that greasy corner there, you just can't now. And I think, you know, Brooke's got experience on his side as well.
But Dan Booker has 100% had Brooke McDonald's pants down there. He has shown him the door. He's rocketing into this 2nd straight, and he's away here. You think, we know that he's so quick on this 2nd straight, but Brooks fought his way back in. He's not taking no for an answer.
Yeah, he's determined, Brooke. But, you know, if Dan had held that together, it would have been very close. It might have even been his advantage going through.
I think anyone down at the bottom, any of the racers who can see this on the big screen now are going to know that this inside line on the right track is lethal.
And they'll be adjusting their riding to that. They'll be watching other riders come through, and they'll be watching those rhythm sections too and actually seeing which lines are going to be the quickest.
Okay, we can have a chat with Brooke in the finish area now. Brooke, it looked like you weren't going to take no for an answer there from Dan Booker.
No way. I knew he had the advantage on me over those first rollers because I kind of messed it up a little bit. So I knew I had the advantage on the black line down here. And yeah, my run before on the white, I made a big mistake. So kind of, yeah, it's difficult to get that white line right. And yeah, I'm just stoked to be out here racing. It's actually real sick.
Awesome, Brooke. It looked like you had quite a lot of power coming out of the gate and you're just attacking the whole way down the course. Have you been practicing some sprints or your BMX background or something we don't know about?
I've been off the bike for 5 weeks. I've been chilling. So, yeah, I don't know. It's just, I guess, the hunger to try and win.
It looks like hunger. I can see it in your eyes, actually, in that start gate. It's quite good to watch.
Yeah. Cheers, Cheers.
Thank you, Brooke. Fantastic insight there. Okay, back up to the top now where we have our second matchup in the men's semi-finals. This one just as close as the first. Got Lewis Hamilton going up against Toto Rikki-Penne, and it feels certainly on the differential like Toto's got this one, but there's no givens. We know this course is as random as they get. It's an absolute lottery.
I mean, we thought Toto had thrown it away there, didn't we? And you know, look, now we're sitting with him with an advantage. So
let's take a look at the times. Fastest time in the day, and he did that, I imagine, in that race with Blenky. 27.293. That is pacey.
Yeah, that is really quick. And I think the times are probably a little bit slower now. We can actually see there 30, you know, he's at 29, still under 30, but only just. So he's still riding really fast in the wet.
Okay, Lewis Hamilton with 1.355 to make up.
So Tahuno just needs to, you know, do what he's been doing and just keep fighting to the line, but smooth, and, you know, he should advance.
Well, he needs to not make a mistake like Kilani Hines. It's more about staying upright. You don't want to risk it here.
He's really good through this top half of the course, and then this is where he's going wide into the back too, actually.
Oh, it's almost impossible to stay up. Brooke said it, that white course is so dangerous now. Yeah. Just staying on your feet on that white course is a battle.
Tahuno does it, and you know, he was looking strong the whole way down that lap.
But it's we've seen the last 3 people come through there. Martha Gill, and then who's in the last one with the men's? Dan Booker, and now Lewis Hamilton. All 3 of them have come off on that turn. It is like glass there. So I think it's going to be really hard in the that dirt off there and turned it into the ice rink that it now is.
Yeah, maybe it was technical, but yeah.
There was a tiny bit of traction left on the very end of the turn there when Tahuno went through it, but now it's completely gone.
Look at Lewis's face. He's just, he knows. You can see it in his eyes, but he's trying everything to hold on to it.
I think you've almost got to speedway that. Get the hips really low, sling the knee over the bike, and then sit upright on it. Don't try and preempt the fact that it's going to go.
If you lean the bike over, that's the problem, it just slips.
Yeah, keep the bike upright and then try and look for a little bit of a catch somewhere.
Yeah.
Look at me
Which
like
there is none.
There's
no catch, that's the problem. Yeah. But you see Tahuno actually hit that bank on the outside line on that same corner.
Yeah.
And he used that to turn, so I think that's a big advantage on that.
Powering you on. Okay, confirmation of the finals and bronze medal matchup. We've got Brooke McDonald going head-to-head with Toto Rikki-Penne. That one is a big, it's like the Blenky matchup for Penne earlier. We've got those 2 big heads of New Zealand downhill riding. And then we've got Dan Booker going up against Lewis Hamilton in the bronze medal matchup. Charlie, I'm out of breath, I've got to say. That is fantastic racing.
That is so exciting to watch. I think it's going to be really cool to see Brooke and Tahuno up against each other. It's almost a repeat of what we saw with Blenky.
And you've got 2 really different attitudes, haven't you? You've got Brooke, we saw him, there's that intensity to his racing, and Tahuno's just got a big smile on his face. He's super relaxed.
I think, it looks like that, but I think they've both got the same level of hunger. And, you know, you see that in the downhill racing, and we're seeing it here tonight. They're not giving up, and they're attacking on, you know, every corner, every roller, every tabletop. They're attacking. So I think it's going to be, you know, no one is going to be giving away any seconds on this next round, on the finals.
Okay, it's going to be a fascinating matchup, both on the women's and the men's side of the draw. While those guys get back up to the top of the course and get themselves settled in the start gate, we're going to take a quick look at a trail building session that Specialized ran in Nelson. This one is pretty impressive.
Hey, I'm Specialized Ambassador Sam Todd, and we're here at another Specialized soil searching dig day. We've had a great turnout of riders here today to help rebuild a local favourite trail.
Soil searching was designed to recognise and support the unsung heroes of mountain biking, the trail builders, advocates, clubs and communities who help shape these epic trails we love to ride. It's been great to do our part and help out, and then enjoy a feed and do some riding with the crew afterwards.
It's just awesome to see that initiative up in Nelson with the soil searching, because if you've ever ridden in Nelson, you know the trails there are, you know, unbeatable and, you know, some of the best in the world. So it's really cool to see them getting behind that.
Well, New Zealand's one of the most beautiful countries in the world, and Nelson is one of the most beautiful parts of New Zealand, so it tells you everything you need to know. Right, first run in the bronze medal matchup between Casey Brown and Martha Gill. This one is going to be very, very close, I think. Casey Brown on that white side of the course, which means that she's got that very, very difficult scrub turn.
Yeah, I think this guy's going to be quite evenly matched here. Martha's going for the manual option and Casey's doubling through those rollers.
The first manual worked, the second one looked like it slowed her down slightly.
She hit her front wheel slightly on the upslope, didn't she?
Yeah.
They're both coming in.
Casey's got to be careful here. Look how steady she is.
Oh, she's done well. She's done very well.
And you know what? It may be a big differential here, but it's possibly not that bad, because we know that Martha's got to negotiate that on the second run. So it's a big, big difference in the time here, 1.432. But Martha has got to go through that glassy section after the scrub wall.
That white side of the course looks absolutely lethal.
Casey Brown,
she was the cleanest. She was the cleanest we've seen through there in a long time.
That was so impressive. Well, in the last 4 runs. Here we go with the manuals as well. A little bit early down on the front wheel there from Martha.
And Martha's pedaling a lot. You can see her pedaling between rollers and everything, which it looks like it's paying off, but it's two quite different styles between the two riders.
Casey creeping through there.
They've got their foot out and they're just... Yeah, actually, yeah, Martha really went wide and used that bank, like I was saying. A lot of riders on that black course are using that bank to turn.
It's interesting. It's definitely a cheat. It's a safe way to get through that turn, but you actually take yourself off the racing line.
You do.
You've then got to really make sure you get yourself in the rut, otherwise you're in trouble.
Exactly, but if you can link the bank and the rut, maybe that's why we're seeing a 1.4 advantage on the black line.
Okay, first run down for both of these women in the bronze medal matchup. A place on the podium at stake.
Every single time. Really?
Martha Gill. Definitely been giving us the horns every single time. You're right, Martha.
They're having fun. I think Martha's pretty happy to be riding in the mud. She's from the UK, so, you know, it's just like home probably.
Yeah, exactly. Torrential downpours. Absolutely standard.
There goes
Lewis Hamilton making his way up. He's in the bronze medal matchup. A view out over Rotorua there, the volcanic heart of New Zealand. The soil is so rich here. And there's hot pools, or natural hot pools all over the city, aren't there? You literally can't move for natural hot tubs.
Yeah, I'm always worried when I'm walking down the footpath they're going to stand in some boiling mud. I've sometimes walking down, you see steam shooting out of the footpath.
Look at it. You can see it all just rising up. And you get this waft of sulphur every now and again. Look at
some
that.
people love it, some people hate it.
It's
The smell that is.
incredible.
But the place it's really hard to beat, especially if you're a mountain bike rider.
It's phenomenal. You got New Zealand's biggest lake just to the west of here in Taupo, and then you have the national park with the huge volcanoes. You've got Tuaroa and Mount Taranaki, which are just breathtaking. They're proper cone volcanoes. They're not like mountain ranges. They just poke up from sea level up to 2,500 meters. Right, bronze medal matchup. Dan Booker in the orange on the left-hand side going up against Lewis Hamilton.
Oh,
very strong start from Lewis Hamilton.
Oh no, Hamilton's gone down.
He's just leant it over, and you can actually see the mud build up on the inside of his tyre there.
Now that's the exact same corner where Bass went down when Bass got kicked out of the round of 16.
Yeah, and I think, was it Brady Stone?
Brady Stone also made a mistake there.
Dan Booker negotiates the wide side of the course with ease down at the bottom, which, I mean, this doesn't bode well for Lewis Hamilton. He's got a massive deficit, the maximum differential of 1.5, and he's on the white course.
Yeah, exactly. So it's going to be that's a hard ask, but you know what happened to Lewis just there could happen to Dan.
And you've got to say, I mean, he got on the right side of the weather yesterday in the downhill. Yeah, he's got on the wrong side of the weather today. Unfortunate, but
it's crazy seeing something like that out of the corner of your eye.
Dan Booker looks like he might get a shot at the podium, and you've got to say, on the strength of his performances today, he probably does deserve that, but it's not gone yet.
Oh, that's where it went for Lewis Hamilton, though, didn't it? Right there, the front wheel just coming out of that berm. Look, his back started drifting and he just couldn't hold it together.
There's so much commitment on the exit of that turn because you're trying to generate speed.
But credit to him because he really was just going for it. His riding luck is dry.
Okay, well, the same thing could happen to Dan Booker.
Oh, man.
This is, we called it wacky races earlier. It is a lottery out here today. So first run of the finals here at Crankworx World Tour. Keilani Hines going toe-to-toe with the downhill champion from yesterday, 17-year-old Jenna Hastings. She is the youngest woman competing here at Crankworx Rotorua. What has she got? Number 2 seed Jenna Hastings going up against number 5 seed.
There was an explosion out of the gate from both riders.
And this is the section where Keilani Hines needs to get in front because the bottom half of the course is going to suit Jenna Hastings.
And yeah, she's on the white side, so she's going to lose some time. Well, I'd expect her to lose some time in the bottom half here. But they're quite even at the moment. Jenna's smiling and laughing.
In the right line, though, this is where Jenna Hastings needs to make it pay.
Hines has done really well for that white side of the course.
So well. A fantastic performance. You called it from Keilani Hines.
Oh, that was impressive riding.
0.4 seconds back. And you've got to remember that the qualification times and the seeding were set when it was dry. Keilani Hines 5th seed, Jenna Hastings 2nd seed. But Keilani Hines seems to be really finding her stride in these wet conditions.
Well, we saw that, didn't we, in her previous round? She just, you know, she didn't make as many mistakes as the other riders. So maybe she's used to these conditions or just comfortable slipping around a bit.
It was, I've got to say, on the strength of the last 4 or 5 riders we've seen through this white side of the course, this section was a masterclass from Keilani Hines.
It's just the right amount of cornering without actually slipping and drifting, because when you drift, you start to lose your speed.
She's keeping the bike upright there.
It might be drying out a touch as well, it's hard to tell. But unless she's just got, you know, clear tyres or something, and, you know, and a good, obviously she's got really good bike skills through there.
Okay, so first run of the finals now. Second best time of the day. Keilani Hines owns both of them, but that was a 30.952. So you're right, Charlie, it is drying up. It must be, because you've got a big gap back there. Almost 2 seconds back to the next fastest time.
Back to the top.
Men's first run of the finals, and this one is a mouth-watering prospect. You've got the intensity that Brooke McDonald is bringing to this final, and then you've got that relaxed, fun vibe that Todori Kipene's got.
This is exciting. The specialised dual slalom here in Rotorua.
Okay. 2 absolute monsters on the bike. Both of them, such good technique. But I always feel like that mentality game that Brooke's able to play brings an extra layer.
He's got that level. But I think Tahuto's close as well. So here we go.
Very quick start from both of them. If anything, it goes a tiny bit towards Tahuto.
Oh no! Brooke's gone down.
Oh, straight off the bat, Brooke McDonald in that first berm.
Oh, okay.
Tohoto, he's obviously taking a look back, taking it nice and steady.
He's just cruising through here, but
it's a maximum differential. It's going to be 1.5 seconds.
So Brooks twisted his bars there, but if he can just ride down and get to the bottom there, then he'll have a chance. And if he can make up that big differential.
Tohoto.
But Brooks on the white side of the course, isn't he?
Yeah, after all that chat about so there's that little piece that could slow Tohoto down on the second run. But Brooke McDonald has picked up his peak, he's straightened his bars. That was a big off, I think.
I know, I wish we could see a little bit more of it, but he was down on the ground for a while, whether he was just frustrated or whether he actually, hit the ground hard, which wouldn't surprise me for someone like Brooke.
It's difficult to tell if anything's rung his belly.
Did you feel an earthquake or not?
No, I didn't, so. I did a track walk on the downhill the other day, and I stood next to the rock garden as Brooke came through, and that was definitely an earthquake.
It's actually quite terrifying standing on the edge of some of these tracks when you feel the ground vibrating.
That's unbelievable. Let's take a look. We can see what happened now. Get a clear shot.
Not a bad start. Oh, he's gone off the top of the berm.
Oh!
Now that is painful because you're just not expecting it, and you can face pretty much go straight into the next corner.
And with that,
look at that. Oh, he's literally, it's like he's diving into water. He's taking a leap of faith into that next corner.
If we can watch that angle again, you'll see the marshal's face behind him, and that tells you absolutely everything you need to know about how brutal that crash was.
To be honest, Brooks a tough guy. I know he's he's been a bit beaten up with some big crashes recently and shoulder injuries and that, but he just keeps getting back up.
But he never ever shows it at the event.
No.
He's either made of concrete or he stores it all up, and when he gets back to the car, he just breaks down into his.
Oh, I don't think he could cry, that guy.
No, I don't think he does. Rumour has it that Brooke McDonald's tears can cure cancer. The only problem is that he never cries. Just adopt the Chuck Norris joke there. So second round of the bronze medal matchup between Martha Gill and Casey Brown. Casey Brown going down hard. She's got a lot of ground to make up, but she is on the black side of the course here, so she's got that easier turn off the scrub wall.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's quite cool seeing the different style through the rhythm sections of these two riders as well. Watch carefully for this first rhythm section.
Way to go. Casey Brown means business here. She's
ahead slightly.
Far from over.
There's the manual of Martha, on the manual to double.
That worked that time, very, very slick, and she is quick through this section.
There's the nose manual, onto the on-off feature, and up into the scrub wall.
Okay, this is the critical section for Martha.
Can she hold it together? She's looking pretty good so far.
Way more speed carried by Casey.
Martha, not bad. Oh, it's very close.
Casey needs a bit more time here. It's not enough. Third step on the podium will go to Martha Gill.
Wow, that was an awesome round from both riders. Congratulations to Martha, taking the bronze medal. That was class from Martha. She's just been looking solid all evening.
Brilliant, brilliant racing.
And I mean, yeah, it's that Instagram, manual practice, but it's paying off.
Well, she goes double here as well. She knows that second manual hasn't worked for her, so it's single manual to double.
I think she's probably been watching on the riders as she's been walking up, or as she's been waiting for her turn to drop in, and actually adjusted her line, which is quite common.
That was a big. Casey Brown committed to that turn, and she caught up a lot of ground there.
Yeah. And they were quite even actually coming to the scrubble, but it looks like Casey Brown may have just checked up a little bit more.
Bit more traction there for Martha Gill on the inside of the white line as well.
They're definitely getting grip now instead of the ice that we saw before.
So we can head down to the finish area now where Martha Gill's got the headset on. Martha, some fantastic racing today. You look like you're enjoying yourself out there.
Thank you, yeah. Oh my gosh, it was so much fun. The rain came down and it just made everything wild, but I was just having a good time, like British weather, so I felt like I was in my element in the mud.
Yeah, Martha, I was thinking you'd be enjoying the mud, but I also thought you're looking quite good with the manuals. Is that all the practice on Instagram that I've been seeing? Yeah,
I've been doing a bit of practice on pump tracks wherever I go. Definitely come in handy. Kind of felt too slow to jump the doubles at the top, so the manuals were the go for me and felt pretty good.
Yeah, it paid off. You're looking really solid through those rhythm sections.
And then just give us a little bit of insight, because we've got another bronze medal matchup, and then we've got the 2 finals. You were on the white side of the course that time. Does it feel like there's a little more traction after that scrub wall now?
No, I'd say the flat corners on the left side on the black course are definitely better. There's more of a rut, whereas the white side, it's kind of a bit sketchy, like you're kind of two-wheel drifting, so yeah.
Okay, thank you so much for the insight, and congratulations on 3rd place.
Thank
well
you.
done, Martha.
Okay, so the bronze medal in the specialised dual slalom for Great Britain's Martha Gill. Holding on to that one, the layout rider making her presence felt against one of the greats of Crankworx, Casey Brown.
Yeah. I think it's pretty cool to actually hear Martha say, you know, what we were thinking is actually true with the white and black side. And it certainly looks like it from, you know, from a viewer's perspective.
Okay, so Dan Booker has the maximum differential of 1.5 seconds going up against Lewis Hamilton here. And he's on that faster side of the course. But don't forget, anything can and probably will happen today. What is the mountain bike equivalent of a soap opera? They're away.
They're off
neck
well.
and neck.
Oh, absolutely. They're both doubling through that second roller there.
Dan Booker taking his time. Is he relying on the fact that he's so quick in that last straight?
So he can't, can't button off too much, but it looks like he's going to be within that 1.5 seconds.
He's
quite easily.
He's conjured that trick again of just making up time. It doesn't look like he's trying that time.
Yeah, absolutely effortless through that last section.
Absolutely phenomenal. Somehow, without looking like he's trying too hard, he just seems to shrink that gap. So 1.366 seconds. Lewis Hamilton claws back a little bit there, but after that fall the first time, it wasn't to be. And Dan Booker lays his hands on his first bit of silverware at Crankworx Rotorua in 2021.
Yeah, Dan Booker's on some fine form at the moment, actually. Coming out of the downhill yesterday, and I know he was actually 2nd place at the EWS qualifier in Christchurch in the Enduro.
And the Phoenix.
So he's come over and he's really making his mark on the New Zealand soil.
Yeah, and you said it earlier, he's taken a year off social media, and it kind of feels like all of that time off, he's been like he saved all of that time and he's invested it in his riding.
It's probably smart, you know, maybe more riders should try it, because I'd be keen for it to have a go. It just, you know, sometimes you have obligations. It's a very nice, it's a romantic idea though. And I think we probably all spend a bit too much time on our phones these days.
Most definitely. Dan Booker has secured his bronze medal. Now it's back up to the top though. 2nd and final runs in the women's final. You've got Jenna Hastings, the 17-year-old, on the rider's right-hand side of the course. Keilani Hines on the left. Let's take a quick look back at what happened in run 1. Sort of very, very even start. Jenna Hastings looking so strong.
She was really strong out of the start there.
A lot of people earmarking her as a downhill specialist, but she's got some really good pump and dual smarts as well.
It's quite cool. We're seeing more and more athletes doing multiple disciplines, because it's just bike schools. Once you can get comfortable on different bikes, it's just bike schools.
Well, traction is not Keilani Hines' strong point, and yet she's found it time and again on the bottom of this course. And as it dries out, I think we're only going to see her get quicker. Yeah, so Jenna Hastings with a little bit of a deficit to make up here against Keilani Hines.
She's got to run the white line too, so she might have those slippery corners that Martha was talking about.
Keilani Hines never taken a win in dual slalom. Could this be her first as they set off? Lovely work from Jenna Hastings. She's making that track pay.
She's gaining speed with those doubles through there. She's keeping a lot over that tabletop. And she actually had quite a lot of speed into the scrub wall there. Oh, but she goes a bit wide on that first flat corner.
To it.
Come on.
Here comes Keilani Hines.
This is so exciting.
Jenna Hastings got the power down. So is Keilani Hines. 007, the difference between them.
Another 007.
A license to kill for Keilani Hines. And she will take the gold medal. But that means that Jenna Hastings got the full set, a gold, a silver, and a bronze from Crankworx Rotorua in 2021.
It's just incredible.
A first ever victory in dual slalom for Keilani Hines as well. She will be very, very pleased with that, and it will all but guarantee her second place in the Queen of Crankworx race. 100 points here, and with Harriet Burbage-Smith out so early, that is $10,000 in the pocket of Keilani Hines.
There was such an exciting final.
Oh, brilliant racing. That was the mistake for Jenna, just a little slide.
That was the decider almost, yeah. That could have been half a second easily.
Keilani's got so much power here. Jenna Hastings does have a lot, but once Keilani gets her foot down.
She's smiling as she's drifting around the corner. It's awesome.
We've said it before and we'll say it again. She is having so much fun out there, which essentially is winning.
Yeah, well, this whole week she's just been, smiling and enjoying it.
We can talk to Keilani Hines down in the finish area now. Congratulations, Keilani. That was some fantastic and very entertaining racing for us.
Thank you. Yeah, it was good. The weather was just all over the place, so happy to get out and clean.
Have you done the maths yet on the Queen of Crankworx standings?
No, earlier today, but I was trying not to think about it, so not totally sure.
Well, I can tell you that you have done enough to take second place, just ahead of Harriet.
Woo, yay, thank you.
Overall, though, I mean, it was a bit of a lottery, but the downhillers seemed to be favouring the end of the course there, but it seemed like you found more and more traction as the races went on.
Yeah, I just honestly just tried to chill at the top and keep my head focused on the bottom. It was more about not charging it and just hitting the lines so that you weren't getting loose. So yeah, it worked out.
Fantastic work. Thank you so much. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Keilani Hines, your gold medalist in the specialised dual slalom here at Crankworx Road Rotorua. Fantastic performance. And as she said, Charlie, she was boxing clever.
Yeah, it looked like it. She was not too many mistakes from her. She was almost one of the most consistent riders, I would say. Well, probably one of the most consistent.
And she was without, there was loads of flair. You've seen people risking it, but it was being conservative that actually paid off.
You're right. It's nothing flashy, it's just smooth and consistent that's winning these rounds, these heats.
Okay, Brooke McDonald went down on that first run. This is the second run of the men's. Let's take a look back at the first. Great start, and then Brooke McDonald, in his excitement, absolutely detonated himself out of that first turn.
He dove straight into that second corner. Look at this here. He's got both hands out.
It's the marshal's face. Yeah. She was absolutely brutalised by that. It was almost GBH.
But if anyone's going to take a hit, it's Brooke, and he's back to the top. He's got to make up 1.5 seconds, which is, it's no mean feat, but if anyone can do it, I think Brooke could do it.
It's a huge ask against Tohoto because he's been in such blistering form. He's genuinely enjoying racing in his hometown, I think.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. He's come back home to New Zealand after a successful season, and he's the pressure's off. He's just really enjoying riding, and being able to race here in Rotorua is, probably, a dream for him.
Set. Okay, they're under starters orders. Men's final here at the specialised dual slalom.
Oh, good start from Tohoto.
Very, very quick, but look at it. Brooke McDonald means business. He's got the cranks down. Oh, blistering pace and bad timing there from Brooke McDonald.
Just on the outside of it.
So Tohoto's just going to make it through this slippery turn now. This is the critical part. Oh, and he's all over the place.
Oh, he's losing so much speed.
Brooke McDonald.
Oh, he's lost the chain. No, he's lost his chain.
Tohoto is running the bike through. You were looking for redemption from yesterday's downhill, but Brooke McDonald makes it pay. He never gave up on it. The Bulldog was tenacious. He got his teeth into this race.
That's such a shame for Tohoto, but credit to Brooke for not giving up, because it's not over till the fat lady sings.
He came up so short on that second straight. His timing was all wrong, and you could see Tohoto just accelerating away.
Oh, I can't wait to ask Brooke what he was feeling on that run, because it's such a shame for Tohoto. His derailleur's gone. He must have, either he's bumped it with a foot, or the chain's, fallen off, and he's got a pedal and it's ripped the derailleur off. But
well, the force he's able to put through the bike there as he's coming out of that turn is obviously.
Let's see if we can see where his derailleur says goodbye.
Well, first let's see, Brooke's timing.
Right, there.
Yeah. Case is the back of that second double.
You can see it on the overhead here. Yeah,
boom.
Just think it's a bit slower, that course.
And the pace that Toto's got, you just like, this race is over. But then let's take a look at it as he comes into this turn. He runs wide here, and we know that the race...
Right, have a look here. So look at this derailleur closely. We might see something if we're lucky. It looks like it was already a bit loose. Yeah, there it is, just as he pedals.
So is the chain slack?
It's a great shot there. Yeah.
Oh, I think it had already gone potentially.
It was already either bent or loose. Yeah. That's such a shame.
And look at the spectators' faces behind him. Billy Meeklem there knows what's happening.
There's some wide eyes and wide mouths down there in that spectator's face.
Oh, the derailleur's come all the way through. If it had...
It's locked up his rear wheel a little bit there, actually.
You know what? If the derailleur had actually flown off... Oh, no, it couldn't have done, could it? It's wrapped up through the wheels there.
Yeah, so his back wheel's actually almost locked up.
Yeah. Oh, what a finish. But it was nothing less than we expected. It's been a soap opera of a day.
Oh,
and to have something that dramatic finish us off.
Oh, I can't wait to see what Brooke says about this.
Brooke, that was phenomenal. That one of the most dramatic finals I've ever seen, I think, across 2 runs.
Yeah, I know. To be honest, I knew I didn't have that second run because I stuffed up the doubles up there, and I just kind of kept chugging along and kind of seen him in front, and knew on the white line I could have an advantage there, but obviously with what happened to the derailleur is a bit of a shame, but that's racing, and honestly I haven't won a race in so long, and it feels so good to, you know, even though it's not downhill, it's still a win, and it feels really good.
Yeah, congratulations, bro. It looked like a lot of fun up there with the Hodo. How cool was it racing with one of the, you know, up-and-comers of New Zealand downhill, and, you know, you're such an established name in New Zealand downhill yourself. It's pretty special to watch you two boys battling it out.
Yeah, it's really sick. It's good to see that we've got some fast guys coming through. It's been a long time, so yeah, I'm just stoked to have guys like these boys coming through, and the next generation of New Zealand mountain biking.
Congratulations, Brooke. You truly earned that victory today. Enjoy it.
Thank you.
Done.
What
Cheers,
a performance. That was some dramatic racing. I've commentated on a lot of different sports, a lot of different disciplines, but as far as drama goes in a single event of racing, that was truly breathtaking, Charlie.
Oh, I'm still shaking from the nerves. I wasn't even riding and I'm nervous. That was just incredible.
Just confirmation of the results here. You've got Dan Booker taking out 3rd place, just ahead of Lewis Hamilton. Ariki Pene in 2nd place, and a brilliant, I hadn't realised that, a massive victory, a really big one for Brooke, I think, emotional in a way as well, Charlie, coming back from that huge injury and getting a big win on the board.
I mean, yeah, Brooke's definitely had a tough, you know, since his injury, it's been hard. He's come back, but then he's had, you know, more injuries, and he's been struggling, you know, to find that speed. He's got the speed, but putting it together when it counts has been something that hasn't come yet. But, you know, today it fell into place, and it's so cool to see him happy. And, you know, he just loves downhill and loves the future of the sport, and he's happy to see Tohoto out there. And, you know, it's respect for Brooke. I think he's earned it.
Well, we talked about how tough Brooke is, but that's about as close as you'll get to seeing some raw emotion, I think, from Brooke there. That was fantastic. We can take a look at the Queen leaderboard now. We knew that the King's leaderboard was set up. Bas van Steenbergen taking that one out. But Keilani Hines leapfrogging Harriet Burbage-Smith. Harriet Burbage-Smith will still take out 3rd and $5,000. But Keilani Hines, 2nd place. A just reward, I think, for some valiant riding today.
I think so. Like, yeah, she showed us how consistent she is, and she was just looking strong from top to bottom. And yeah, to jump up, you know, 1 spot in the overall Queen of Crankworx with one event is amazing.
Yeah, fantastic. That race for Queen of Crankworx has definitely delivered this week. Now, we have one last event here in Rotorua before we close up Crankworx 2021 for the entire season, and it's one of the biggest. It is, of course, the Maxis slopestyle in memory of Magaza. Look at this. This course is going to be in action, and we have a fantastic field. You can make your predictions now on the Podium predictor. Predict all of the event winners. You can look at 1st, 2nd and 3rd. Compare yourself with all of the other players out there. We've got some experts who'll be giving you tips on what they think is going on. They'll have watched practice here And of course, you can go in for a first, second, third.
If you had to, pick a winner for the slopestyle, what do you think?
I think it's actually pretty easy at the moment. If he's on form, Emilio Hansen is pretty much unbeatable.
Oh.
But I think if it's windy, if it's got any wet in there, then you can pump up the courage gland, and I think Nikolai Rogatkin could come into play.
Yeah, I think it's a fair play. I saw Emil today in practice, and just flawless. Like it looks so easy, and yeah.
Well, Charlie, that brings us to the end of the show for dual slalom. Thank you so much for all of your insight.
Thanks for having me. It's been amazing. I can't believe how exciting it's been. My heart's been in my mouth the whole time.
Right, you can relax now. We can start to calm things down. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as we have at home. Thank you for watching. We'll see you tomorrow for the Max's Slopestyle in memory of Magaza.
Thanks.
Who can witness this? I am close to divine. Know the moment is mine, need an omen or sign. Providing a back sound to all the squares that ask around. We getting it. My skills pay me. Trying to get a million, baby, with an adopted flow that God gave me. Tell whoever runners that they spot is temporary till I take it, it's mine. I'm selfish. Your will. Tell Miss I'm on my wealth tip. So when we cash out soon, I'm just investing. No yes men. I've been a legend since before mom and dad had me and was best friends. I chew through comp, don't test them. I chew on tracks, cause after that I bless them. I just do what I do. You see me? I just do what I do.